Welcome to the Financial Aid Series Part 1, Financial Aid Basics and the FSA ID. Financial aid provides funds to help students pay for post-secondary educational expenses. Although it is for the student, it is based mainly on family resources. It is available at most post-secondary institutions, whether they be private, public, or technical schools. The process of applying for financial aid involves the student submitting the FAFSA. Once the FAFSA is submitted, an SAI is calculated and the results are sent to the student. Copies of the results are also sent to the schools of choice that were submitted on the FAFSA. Once that is calculated, the schools will follow up with the student. They may request additional documentation, and they determine the financial aid eligibility. Offer letters are then sent to the student. Some definitions that you should know. Cost of attendance, or COA. The cost of attendance is made up of direct costs that are billed directly to the student, such as tuition and fees, and housing and food, as well as indirect costs that are not billed directly to the student, but things that they should account for, such as transportation, books, supplies, and equipment, loan fees, and personal living expenses. All of those add up to the cost of attendance, or sometimes known as the sticker cost. Another thing that you should know is the Student Aid Index, or SAI. In previous years, this was called the EFC, or Expected Family Contribution. The SAI is determined by parental and student contributions. A percentage of the income and a percentage of the assets for both parent and student are combined into the federal need analysis formula. And the output then is the SAI. It should be noted that the SAI is the same no matter what type of school the student attends. When the cost of attendance has the SAI subtracted from it, what's left is the financial need, and this is used to determine many types of aid. The types of financial aid include scholarships and grants, free money, which does not need to be repaid, loans, which do need to be paid back and some with interest, and student employment, which is a job where students need to work to earn those funds. Let's take a closer look at these three types of student aid. The first type, grants and scholarships. Some students will be eligible for federal grants, such as the Pell Grant, the Supplemental Education Opportunity Grant, and the Teach Grant. Students which attend within the state that they graduated from may be eligible for the state grant. Many state grants are listed here, and by filling out the FAFSA, that will determine if they're eligible for many of these. Some schools have institutional scholarships and grants that the student will be eligible for as well. Student loans are another type of financial aid, and by filling out the FAFSA, students will be eligible for federal student loans. Some of those loans could be subsidized or unsubsidized. Subsidized means that there was need, which allowed them to be eligible for the subsidized loan, which does not have interest while the student is enrolled in school. Unsubsidized loans, the interest does accrue while the student is in school. Both of these loans have low interest rates, do not need to be paid on while they're enrolled at least half time, although the student could make payments if they wanted to. And because they're a student loan, they do not need a cosigner. If the student needs to take out additional funds to help pay, there are private loans for students as well. Most of them do require a cosigner to take out the loan, and they should take a look at the disclosures to see what types of interest rates there are and any type of payment requirements that they have as well. If parents need or want to take out a loan to help pay for the student as well, there are federal and private parent loans. With the federal parent loan, the interest rate is set each June, similar to the student loans, and they would want to take a look at disclosures as well for payment options and origination fees. Private loans for parents, the interest rate is based on the borrower's credit score, and again, they should be looking at disclosure statements to see fees and payment structures. The last type of financial aid is work study. Students often are allowed to work on campus to earn money to help pay for their cost of attendance or any other discretionary costs that they have. The student earns money for the hours that they are worked, and then they can receive their payment in a variety of forms depending on what the school offers. would like to go briefly through a few changes for the 24-25 FAFSA, especially for those families that are familiar with the FAFSA from years past. This year, the FAFSA will not be open until December of 2023, whereas in years past, it was open as early as October 1st. Going forward, all contributors do need to have an FSA ID or Federal Student Aid ID. So it's listed on here where you can go to get the FSA ID, or a shortcut is just to go to studentaid.gov and it will ask you to log in. And on that login page, there is a spot where you can click to create an FSA ID. New this year is that even contributors that don't have a social security number can now get an FSA ID. And it's recommended that you go out and get an FSA ID a few days prior to when you're actually going to file the FAFSA. So this new word contributor might be throwing people for a loop. So what is a contributor, or who is a contributor? Contributors are anybody that's going to be putting information on the FAFSA. So it could be the student, or the student's spouse, or a parent's spouse. And again, contributors do need to have an FSA ID, and contributors need to provide consent in order to have their federal tax information brought into the FAFSA. So in years past, that was the process of using the IRS data retrieval tool, and now it's by providing consent. If any of the contributors or student do not allow the consent process to proceed, the FAFSA will be rejected. Even though it will allow you to continue through the FAFSA, it will be rejected in the end, and an SAI will not be calculated. New this year, also, students can monitor the progress of the FAFSA by going to studentaid.gov to see, who has completed their sections of the FAFSA and who still needs to do them. And for families that have multiple children in college completing the FAFSA, once one FAFSA is completed, tax data will be pre-populated in the other students' FAFSAs. Things to kind of keep in mind for next steps. Again, the FAFSA doesn't open until December. We have not been told a date at this point yet. If you're filing the FAFSA and would like to have the information sent to Ripon, the school code is listed here. And the FAFSA can be completed at studentaid.gov. And for those that are applying to Ripon, late January is our target date for sending out financial aid offers. Thank you for joining our first video. The next video in the series is our step-by-step instructions for filing the FAFSA. We hope you'll join us. Thank you.